Okay, you're gonna call section 5 of the magician, and which is I believe it is the 25th section in the Red Book that as I'm calling it, and it's in Liber Secundus, second volume, and it's continuing on page 323 of the 2009 publication and 179 in the calligraphic volume, and it's still 31st of the 7th, 2025, and I'm trying to get through 7 more pages to finish Liber Secundus. See if I can. Okay, court. This is Magician section 5. Now that I had found the beauty in me and with myself, I spoke to my serpent. And this is Feb 9, 1914, and Black Book 4 has soul. It's essentially soul and serpent interchangeable here again. It's like the serpentine or earthly aspect of his soul, of which there are 3 parts. So I spoke to my serpent, or to my soul. I look back as onto a work that has been accomplished. Serpent, nothing is accomplished yet. What do you mean, not accomplished? Serpent, this is only the beginning. I think you are lying. Serpent. Who are you quarreling with? Do you know better? I know nothing, but I'd already gotten used to the idea that we had reached a goal, at least a temporary one. If even the dead are about to become extinct, what else is going to happen? Serpent. But then the living must first begin to live. This remark could certainly be deeply meaningful, but it seems to be nothing but a joke. Serpent. You're getting impertinent. I'm not joking. Life has yet to begin. What do you mean by life? Serpent. I say, life has yet to begin. Didn't you feel empty today? Do you call that life? What you say is true, but I try to put as good a face as I can on everything and to settle for things. Serpent. That might be quite comfortable, but you really ought to make much higher demands. That has dread. I will certainly not assume that I could satisfy my own demands, but neither do I think that you are capable of satisfying them. However, it might be that once again I'm not trusting you enough. I suppose that might be so because I've drawn close to you in human terms and find you so urbane. Serpent, that proves nothing. Just don't assume that somehow you could ever grasp me and embody me. So what should it be? I'm ready. Serpent, you are entitled to a reward for what has been accomplished so far. A sweet thought that payment could be made for this. Serpent, I give you payment in images. Behold. And I'm just going to check that because it's starting 181. And there's no image, but it reads Elijah and Salome. The cycle is completed and the gates of the mysteries have opened again. Elijah leads Salome, the seeing one, by the hand. She blushes and lowers her eyes while lovingly batting her eyelids. Elijah, here, I give you Salome. May she be yours. For God's sake, what should I do with Salome? I'm already married, and we are not among the Turks. Polygamy used to be practiced in Turkey. It was officially banned by Ataturk in 1926. Elijah, you helpless man, how ponderous you are. Is this not a beautiful gift? Is her healing not your doing? Won't you accept her love as the well-deserved payment for your trouble? It seems to me a rather strange gift, more burden than joy. I'm happy that Salome is thankful to me and loves me. I love her too, somewhat. Incidentally, the care I afforded her was, literally, pressed out of me, rather than something I gave freely and intentionally. If my partly unintentional ordeal has had such a good outcome, I'm already completely satisfied. Salome to Elijah. Leave him, he's a strange man. Heaven knows what his motives are, but he seems to be serious. I'm not ugly, and surely I'm generally desirable. Salome to me. Why do you refuse me? I want to be your maid and serve you. I will sing and dance before you, fend off people for you, comfort you when you are sad, laugh with you when you are happy. I will carry all your thoughts in my heart. I will kiss the words that you speak to me. I will pick roses for you each day, and all my thoughts will wait upon you and surround you. I thank you for your love. It is beautiful to hear you speak of love. It is music and old, far off homesickness. Look, my tears are falling because of your good words. I want to kneel before you and kiss your hands 100 times because they want to give me love. You speak so beautifully of love. One can never hear enough of love being spoken. Salome, why only speak? I want to be yours, utterly and completely yours. You are like the serpent that coiled around me and pressed out my blood. Your sweet words wind around me, and I stand like someone crucified. Salome, why still crucified? Don't you see that unrelenting necessity has flung me onto the cross? It is impossibility that lames me. Salome, don't you want to break through necessity? Is what you call a necessity really one? Is what you call a necessity really one? Black Book 4 continues. I, my principles. It sounds stupid, forgive me, but I have principles. Do not think these are stale moral principles, for these are insights that life has imposed on me. Serpent, what principles are these? And then it goes, listen, I doubt that it is your destiny to belong to me. I do not want to intervene in your utterly singular life, since I can never help you to lead it to an end. And what do you gain if one day I must lay you aside like a worn garment? Salome, your words are terrible, but I love you so much that I could also lay myself aside when your time has come. I, I know that it would be the greatest torment for me to let you go away, but if you can do this for me, I can also do it for you. I would go on without lament, since I have not forgotten the dream where I saw my body lying on sharp needles and a bronze wheel rolling over my breast, crushing it. I must think of this dream whenever I think of love. If it must be, I am ready. Salome, I don't want such a sacrifice. I want to bring you joy. Can I not be joy to you? I don't know, perhaps not. Salome, so then at least try. The attempt is the same as the act. Such attempts are costly. Salome, won't you bear the cost for my sake? I'm rather too weak, too exhausted after what I've suffered because of you. Still to be able to undertake further tasks for you, I would be overwhelmed. Salome, if you don't want to accept me, then surely I cannot accept you. It's not a matter of acceptance. If it's about anything, in particular, it's about giving. Salome, but I do give myself to you. Just accept me. As if that would settle the matter. But being entangled with love, simply thinking about it is dreadful. Salome, so you really demand that I be and not be at the same time? That is impossible. What's wrong with you? I lack the strength to hoist another fate onto my shoulders. I have enough to carry. Salome, but what if I help you bear this load? How can you? You'd have to carry me, an untamed burden. Shouldn't I have to carry it myself? Elijah, you speak the truth. May each one carry his load. He who wants to burden others with his baggage is their slave. It is not too difficult for anyone to lug themselves. Salome, but father, couldn't I help him bear part of his burden? Elijah, then he'd be your slave. Salome, or my master and ruler. That I shall not be. You should be a free being. I can bear neither slaves nor masters. I long for men. Salome, am I not a human being? Be your own master and your own slave. Do not belong to me, but to yourself. Do not bear my burden, but your own. Thus you leave me my human freedom, a thing that's worth more to me than the right of ownership over another person. Salome, are you sending me away? I'm not sending you away. You must not be far from me, but give to me out of your fullness, not your longing. I cannot satisfy your poverty, just as you cannot still my longing. If your harvest is rich, send me some fruit from your garden. If you suffer from abundance, I will drink from the brimming horn of your joy. I know that that will be a balm for me. I can satisfy myself only at the table of the satisfied, not at the empty bowls of those who yearn. I will not steal my payment. You possess nothing, so how can you give? Insofar as you give, you demand. Elijah, old man, listen, you have a strange gratitude. Do not give away your daughter, but set her on her own feet. She would like to dance, to sing, or play the lute before people, and she would like their flashing coins thrown before her feet. Salome, I thank you for your love. If you really love me, dance before the crowd, please people so that they praise your beauty and your art. And if you have a rich harvest, throw me one of your roses through the window. And if the fount of your joy overflows, dance and sing to me once more. I long for the joy of men, for their fullness and freedom, and not their neediness. Salome, what a hard and incomprehensible man you are. Elijah, you have changed since I last saw you. You speak another language, one that sounds foreign to me. My dear old man, I'd like to believe that you find me changed, but you too seem to have changed. Where is your serpent? Elijah, she has gone astray. I believe she was stolen. Since then, things have been somewhat gloomy with us. Therefore, I would have been happy if you had at least accepted my daughter. I know where your serpent is. I have her. We fetched her from the underworld. She gave me hardness, wisdom, and magical power. We need her in the upper world, since otherwise the underworld would have had the advantage to our detriment. Elijah, away with you, accursed robber. May God punish you. Your curse is powerless. Whoever possesses the serpent cannot be touched by curses. No, be sensible, old man. Whoever possesses wisdom is not greedy for power. Only the man who has power declines to use it. Do not cry, Salome. Fortune is only what you yourself create, and not what comes to you. Begone, my unhappy friends. The night grows late. Elijah expunged the false gleam of power from your wisdom, and you, Salome, for the sake of our love, do not forget to dance. And now a commentary. So the commentary. When everything was completed in me, I unexpectedly returned to the mysteries, to that first sight of the otherworldly powers of the spirit and desire. Just as I had achieved pleasure in myself and power over myself, Salome had lost pleasure in herself, but learned love for the other. And Elijah had lost the power of his wisdom, but he had learned to recognize the spirit of the other. Salome thus lost the power of temptation and has become love. As I have won pleasure in myself, I also want love for myself. But that really would be too much and would bind me like an iron ring that would stifle me. I accepted Salome as pleasure and reject her as love. But she wants to be with me. How then should I also have love for myself? Love, I believe, belongs to others, but my love wants to be with me. I dread it. May the power of my thinking push it from me into the world, into things, into men. For something should join men together, something should be a bridge. It is the most difficult temptation, if even my love wants me. Mysteries, open your curtains again. I want to wage this battle to its end. Come here, serpent of the dark abyss. Feb 11, 1914. I hear Salome still crying. What does she want, or what do I still want? It's a damnable payment you have given to me, a payment that one cannot touch without sacrifice, one that requires even greater sacrifice once one has touched it. Serpent. In Black Book 4, this figure is identified as soul. Serpent. Do you mean to live without sacrifice? Life must cost you something, mustn't it? I have, I believe, already paid. I've rejected Salome. Is that not sacrifice enough? Serpent. Too little for you. As has been said, you are allowed to make demands of yourself. You mean well with your damned logic. Demanding and sacrifice? That isn't what I understood. My error has obviously been to my own benefit. Tell me, isn't it enough if I force my feeling into the background? Serpent. You're not forcing your feeling into the background at all. Rather, it suits you much better not to agonize further over Salome. If you're speaking the truth, it's quite bad. Is that why Salome is still crying? Serpent. Yes, it is. But what is to be done? Serpent. Oh, you want to act. One can also think. But what is there to think? I confess that I know nothing to think here. Perhaps you have advice. I have the feeling that I must soar over my own head. I can't do that. What do you think? Serpent. I think nothing and have no advice either. So ask the beyond. Go to heaven or hell. Perhaps there is advice there. Serpent. I am being pulled upward. Then the serpent turned into a small white bird, which soared into the clouds where she disappeared. My gaze followed her for a long time. Bird. Do you hear me? I'm far off now. Heaven is so far away. Hell is much nearer the earth. I found something for you, a discarded crown. I lay on a street in the immeasurable space of heaven, it lay on a street in the immeasurable space of heaven, a golden crown. And now it already lies in my hand, a golden royal crown, with lettering incised within. What does it say? Love never ends. A gift from heaven. But what does it mean? It's a quotation from 1 Corinthians 13:8. Near the end of his life, Jung cited it again in his reflections on love at the end of Memories in Black Book 4, the inscriptions first given in Greek letters. Bird, here I am. Are you satisfied? Partially. At any rate, I thank you for this meaningful gift. But it is mysterious, and your gift makes me well nigh suspicious. Bird, but the gift comes from heaven, you know. It's certainly very beautiful, but you know very well what we have grasped of heaven and hell. Bird, don't exaggerate. After all, there is a difference between heaven and hell. I certainly believe, to judge from what I have seen, that just as little happens in heaven as in hell, though probably in another way. Even what does not occur cannot occur in a particular way. You speak in riddles that could make one ill if one took them to heart. Tell me, what do you make of the crown? Bird, what do I make of it? Nothing. It truly speaks for itself. You mean through the inscription it bears? Bird, precisely. I presume that makes sense to you. To some extent, I suppose, but that keeps the question awfully in suspense. Bird, which is how it is meant to be. Now the bird suddenly turned into the serpent again. You're unnerving. Serpent. Only for him who isn't in agreement with me. That I am certainly not. But how could one, to hang in the air in such a gruesome way? Serpent. Is this sacrifice too difficult for you? You must also be able to hang if you want to solve problems. Look at Salome. I, to Salome. I see, Salome, that you are still weeping. You are not yet done for. I hover and curse my hovering. I am hanging for your sake and for mine. First I was crucified, now I am simply hanging, which is less noble, but no less agonizing. Forgive me for wanting to do in you. Sorry, forgive me for wanting to do you in. I thought of saving you as I did when I healed your blindness through my self-sacrifice. Perhaps I must be decapitated a third time for your sake, like your earlier friend John, who brought us the Christ of agony. Are you insatiable? Do you still see no way to become reasonable? Salome, my beloved, what can I do for you? I have utterly forsaken you. So why are you still crying? You know I can't bear seeing you in tears. Salome, I thought that you were invulnerable since you possessed the black serpent rod. The effect of the rod seems doubtful to me, but in one respect it does help me. At least I do not suffocate, although I have been strung up. The magic rod apparently helps me bear the hanging. Such a surely a cru surely a gruesome good deed and aid. Don't you at least want to cut the cord? Salome, how can I? You are hanging too high. High on the summit of the tree of life where I cannot reach you. Where I cannot reach. Can't you help yourself, you knower of serpent wisdom? Must I go on hanging for long? Salome, until you have devised help for yourself. So at least tell me what you think of the crown that the bird of my soul fetched for me from heaven. Salome, what are you saying? The crown? You have the crown? Lucky one, what are you complaining about? A hanged king would like to change places with every blessed beggar on the country road who is not being hanged. Salome, ecstatic. The crown, you have the crown. I, Salome, take pity on me. What is it with the crown? Salome, ecstatic. The crown, you are to be crowned. What blessedness for me and you. I, alas, what do you want with the crown? I can't understand it, and I'm suffering unspeakable torment. Salome, cruelly, hang until you understand. Might press on. I remain silent and hang high above the ground on the swaying branch of the divine tree, for whose sake the original ancestors could not avoid sin. My hands are bound and I am completely helpless, so I hang for 3 days and 3 nights. From where should help come? There sits my bird, the serpent, which has put on her white feather dress. There sits my bird, the serpent, which has put on her white feather dress. Bird, we'll fetch help from the clouds trailing above your head, where nothing else is of help to us. All right, you want to help? You want to fetch help from the clouds? How is that possible? Bird, I will go and try. The bird swings off like a rising lark, becomes smaller and smaller, and finally disappears in the thick grey veil of clouds covering the sky. My gaze follows her longingly, and I make out nothing more than the endless grey, cloudy sky above me, impenetrably grey, harmoniously grey and unreadable. But the writing on the crown, that is legible. Love never ends. Does that mean eternal hanging? I was not wrong to be suspicious when my bird brought the crown of eternal life, the crown of martyrdom. Ominous things that are dangerously ambiguous. I am weary, weary not only of hanging, but of struggling after the immeasurable. The mysterious crown lies far below my feet on the ground, winking gold. I do not hover, no, I hang, or rather worse, I am hanged between sky and earth, and do not tire of the state of hanging, for I could indulge in it forever, but love never ends. Is it really true? Shall love never end? If this was a blessed message to them, if this was a blessed message to them, what is it for me? That depends entirely on the notion, an old raven suddenly said, perched on a branch not far from me, awaiting the funeral meal, and immersed in philosophizing. Aye, why does it depend entirely on the notion? Raven, on your notion of love and the other. Aye, I know, unlucky old bird, you mean heavenly and earthly love. Heavenly love would be utterly beautiful, but we are men, and precisely because we are men, I've set my mind on being a complete and full-fledged man. To clarify, Swedenborg described heavenly love as loving uses for the sake of uses, or goods for the sake of goods, which a man performs for the church, his country, human society, and a fellow citizen, differentiating itself from self-love and love of the world. Okay, and so, yep, Jung said, I've set my mind on being a complete and full-fledged man. Raven, you're an ideologue. Aye, dumb Raven, be gone. There, very close to my face, a branch moves. A black serpent has coiled itself around it and looks at me with the blinding pearly shimmer of its eyes. Is it not my serpent? Aye, sister and black rod of magic, where do you come from? I thought that I saw you fly to heaven as a bird, and now you're here. Do you bring help? Serpent, I'm only my own half. I'm not one, but two. I'm the one and the other. I'm here only as the serpent-like, the magical, but magic is useless here. I wound myself idly around this branch to wait further developments. You can use me in life, but not in hanging. In the worst case, I'm ready to lead you to Hades. I know the way down. A black form condenses before me out of the air. Satan, with a scornful laugh, he calls to me. See what comes from the reconciliation of opposites. Recant, and in a flash you'll be down on the greening earth. I won't recant. I'm not stupid. If such is the outcome of all this, let it be the end. Serpent, where is your inconsistency? Please remember this important rule of the art of life. The fact that I'm hanging here is inconsistency enough. I've lived inconsistently ad nauseum. What more do you want? Serpent, perhaps inconsistency in the right place? Stop it. How should I know what the right and the wrong places are? Satan, whoever gets on in a sovereign way with the opposites knows left from right. Whoever gets on in a sovereign way with the opposites knows left from right. Be quiet. You're an interested party. If only my white bird came back with help. I fear I'm growing weak. Serpent, don't be stupid. Weakness too is a way. Magic makes good of the error. Satan, what? You've not yet once had the courage of weakness? You want to become a complete man? A man strong? White bird of mine, I suppose you can't find your way back. Did you get up and leave because you couldn't live with me? Salome, there she comes. Come to me, Salome. Another night has passed. I didn't hear you cry, but I hung and still hang. Salome, I haven't cried any more, for good fortune and misfortune are balanced in me. My white bird has left and has not yet returned. I know nothing and understand nothing. Does this have to do with the crown? Speak. Salome, what should I say? Ask yourself. I cannot. My brain is like lead. I can only whimper for help. I have no way of knowing whether everything is falling or standing still. My hope is with my white bird. Oh no, could it be that the bird means the same thing as hanging? Satan, reconciliation of the opposites, equal rights for all, follies. I hear a bird chirping. Is that you? Have you come back? Bird, if you love the earth, you are hanged. If you love the sky, you hover. What is earth? What is sky? Bird, everything under you is the earth. Everything above you is the sky. You fly if you strive for what is above you. You are hanged if you strive for what is below you. What is above me? What is beneath me? Bird, above you is what is before and over you. Beneath you is what comes back under you. And the crown? Solve the riddle of the crown for me. Bird, the crown and serpent are opposites and are one. Did you not see the serpent that crowned the head of the crucified? Did you not see the serpent that crowned the head of the crucified? What? I don't understand you. Bird, what words did the crown bring you? Love never ends. That is the mystery of the crown and the serpent. But Salome, what should happen to Salome? Bird, you see, Salome is what you are. Fly and she will grow wings. The clouds part. The sky is full of the crimson sunset of the completed third day. The sun sinks into the sea, and I glide with it from the top of the tree toward the earth, softly and peacefully. Night falls. And a short commentary. Fear has befallen me. Whom did you carry to the mountain, you Kabiri? And whom have I sacrificed in you? You have piled me up yourselves. You have piled me up yourselves, turning me into a tower on inaccessible crags, turning me into my church, my monastery, my place of execution, my prison. I'm locked up and condemned within myself. I am my own priest and congregation, judge and judged, God and human sacrifice. What a work you have accomplished, Kabiri. You have given birth to a cruel law from the chaos that cannot be revoked. It is understood and accepted. The completion of the secret operation approaches. What I saw I described in words to the best of my ability. Words are poor, and beauty does not attend them. But is truth beautiful and beauty true? It's John Keats' poem, Ode to a Grecian Urn, ends with these lines. Beauty is truth, truth, beauty, that is all you know on earth, and all ye need to know. Goes on, one can speak in beautiful words about love, but about life? And life stands above love. But love is the inescapable mother of life. Life should never be forced into love, but love into life. May love be subject to torment, but not life. As long as love goes pregnant with life, it should be respected. But if it but if it has given birth to life from itself, it is turned into an empty sheath and expires into transience. I speak against the mother who bore me. I separate myself from the bearing womb. I speak no more for the sake of love, but for the sake of life. The word has become heavy for me, and it barely wrestles itself free of the soul. Bronze doors have shut. Fires have burned out and sunk into ashes. Wells have been drained, and where there were seas there is dry land. My tower stands in the desert. Happy is he who can be a hermit in his own desert. He survives. Not the power of the flesh, but of love, should be broken for the sake of life. Since life stands above love, a man needs his mother until his life is developed. Then he separates from her. And so life needs love until it has developed. Then it will cut loose from it. The separation of the child from the mother is difficult, but the separation of life from love is harder. Love seeks to have and to hold, but life wants more. The beginning of all things is love, but the being of things is life. This distinction is terrible. Why, O spirit of the darkest depths, do you force me to say that whoever loves does not live and whoever lives does not love? I always get it backward. Should everything be turned into its opposite? Will there be a sea where Philemon's temple stands? Will his shady island sink into the deepest ground, into the whirlpool of the withdrawing flood that earlier swallowed all peoples and lands? Will the bottom of the sea be where Ararat rises? In the biblical account of the flood, the ark came to rest on Mount Ararat, Genesis 8:4. It's a dormant volcanic cone formerly in Armenia, now Turkey. Okay. What repulsive words do you mutter, you mute son of the earth? You want to sever my soul's embrace? You, my son, do you thrust yourself between? Who are you? And who gives you the power? Everything that I strove for, everything I wrested for myself, do you want to reverse it again and destroy it? You are the son of the devil, to whom everything holy is inimical. You grow overpowering. You frighten me. Let me be happy in the embrace of my soul, and do not disturb the peace of the temple. Off with you, you pierce me with paralyzing force. For I do not want your way. Should I languidly fall at your feet? You devil and son of the devil, speak. Your silence is unbearable and of awful stupidity. I won my soul, and to what did she give birth for me? You, monster, a son. Ha! A frightful miscreant, a stammerer, a newt's brain, a primordial lizard. You want to be king of the earth? You want to banish proud free men, bewitch beautiful women, break up castles, rip open the belly of old cathedrals? Dumb thing, a lazy bug-eyed frog that wears pondweed on his skull's pate. And you want to call yourself my son? You're no son of mine, but the spawn of the devil. The father of the devil entered into the womb of my soul, and in you has become flesh. I recognize you, Philemon, you most cunning of all fraudsters. You have deceived me. You impregnated my maidenly soul with the terrible worm. Philemon, damned charlatan, you aped the mysteries for me. You lay the mantle of the stars on me. You played a Christ fool's comedy with me. You hanged me carefully and ludicrously in the tree just like Odin. You let me devise runes to enchant Salome, and meanwhile you procreated my soul with the worm, spew of the dust, deception upon deception, terrible devil trickery. You gave me the force of magic, you crowned me, you clad me with the shimmer of power. Then let me play a would-be Joseph father to your son. You lodged a puny basilisk in the nest of the dove. My soul, you adulterous whore, you became pregnant with this bastard. I am dishonored. I, laughable father of the Antichrist, how I mistrusted you. And how poor was my mistrust, that it could not gauge the magnitude of this infamous act. What do you break apart? You broke love and life in twain. From this ghastly sundering, the frog and the son of the frog come forth. Ridiculous, disgusting sight. Irresistible advent. They will sit on the banks of the sweet water and listen to the nocturnal song of the frogs, since their god has been born as a son of frogs. Where is Salome? Where is the unresolvable question of love? No more questions. My gaze turned to the coming things, and Salome is where I am. The woman follows your strongest, not you. Thus she bears you your children, in both a good and a bad way. And I might stop there, which would make this the Magician fifth part. And this being, yes, in Liber secundus, second volume of the Red Book, and what is going to amount to the 25th section. And I'll try and finish it off.